Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully, you guys are having a lovely evening. Here we are once again trying to get a lot of those foundational skills so you can use it for your current classroom, or you can use it for the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, TEAS test, IBEW test if you want to do an electrician apprenticeship, any kind of math. So if you're like, I don't know when I need to do this, well, this is the live for you. So what we're going to be working on, we're going to be solving one-step and two-step inequalities. And I know we did one-step, two-step equations. Now we're going to be looking at the inequalities and hopefully doing a little bit of graphing. So as you guys are coming in, make sure you guys are tapping, make sure you're here and known so we can take everything step by step. And I would love for you to participate, love for you to just, hey, ask questions, because this is basically the platform where you should feel safe and comfortable in order to ask your questions. You are no longer in middle school or elementary school where you worry about, are people going to make me feel stupid? Nope. You're not. You're in a safe space. So, and if so, I will remove them. It's as simple as that. All right. So, as you guys are projecting, if we can get to at least 100 with the taps, I would greatly appreciate it. And then we can just get started. You have me for exactly 1 hour. So, we are going to really just fly on through this. Hey, Marvelli, how are you? Welcome in. Okay, greetings to you. All right, so as you guys are coming in, go ahead and tap away. Awesome. So what we're doing with those one-step, two-step inequalities. So when you see an inequality, usually your graph is going to be a number line. So if I may, and the rules still apply if I'm actually going to, like, say, solve an equation. We're still trying to get our variable on one side of the, in this case, inequality sign. But there is a happy little twist, which I'm going to show you. Ooh, that A got away from me there. Okay, so we have A minus 17, which is greater than negative 16. All right, so if we're trying to solve this for A, I want to get A by itself, okay? I'm going to use my inequality almost as like a divider, okay? Whatever I do on one side of the inequality, I have to do on the other, all right? So in order for me to do this, I have negative 17 do the opposite, so I'm going to add 17 to both sides, okay? So now we have our A, we have greater than. So now you have negative 16 plus 17, so that's going to give me a positive 1. So if I want to graph this, I can graph on a regular number line. So let's say this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So you notice that my inequality symbol is greater than. It doesn't have a line underneath. So if it is greater than 1, it's not including the 1. So I am going to do what's called an open circle. So now the side that I'm going to shade is the side that's going to make this into a true statement. If I want to substitute these numbers in for A, I can do that. So if I substitute 2 in for A, I'll get 2 is greater than 1. That's a true statement. If I substitute 4 in for A, 4 is greater than 1. That's a true statement. So basically the side that contains those true statements, I'm going to shade. And this is going to go all the way to positive infinity. Okay, we're going to go all the way to positive infinity. Well, hello, Dylan. Dilligan. All right. So when we go into our next one, and you're probably saying, is it that easy, Audrey? Yes, it is. It really is. All right, so if I have, let's say, 3 plus x is less than or equal to -9, I want to get my x by itself. So in order for me to get my x by itself, I need to move this 3. And how do I move it? Now, the signage is not the plus sign. That plus sign is associated with the x. Your signs are always on the left-hand side of the number. Okay, so even look at this -16. Notice the negative is on the left-hand side of the number. So this is a positive 3. Because if you don't see anything, it's assumed to be positive. So that means we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. So positive 3, -3 will cancel out. And now you have your positive x we're going to bring down. Bring down your less than or equal to sign. Now you have -9 minus 3. Since both of the numbers are negative, we're going to keep that sign and we're going to add them together. So if you think about it, you owe somebody $9 and now you borrowed another $3. So now you owe them $12. You're just putting yourself deeper and deeper in debt. So once we do our number line, and I know, here's my thing. After a while, we're not going to want to have to go from 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, that's too much. So what most people do is they take your solution and then they put it on your number line, and then we can continue on. So if I have less than or equal to, that's going to be a dot. It's going to be closed. When the line is not underneath the inequality sign, it's going to be open. But when the line is underneath the inequality sign, it's going to be closed because we're including our -12. So now we're saying x is less than. Okay, when it goes to the left, when it's pointing to the left like that, that's less than -12. If you think about the number line, the further to the left you go, the lower the numbers or lower the values are. And you keep going all the way to -infinity. Okay. So, Big Al, no problem. You're here. I was a little late myself. Had to finish up with a client. Okay. Right now, and you have a quiz on it tomorrow. Awesome, Chris. Well, this is hopefully benefiting you. Okay. And hopefully benefiting everyone. Oh, 2. Here we go. All right. So, just like if it was an equation, the goal is to isolate our variable. All right, so if we see a positive 3 and we don't see a signage to the left of it, it's positive. So we have to do the opposite. That means we have to do negative or -3 on both sides, okay, in order for them to cancel out. Now, let's see. I'm going to try to keep that up here as best I can without losing too much of the visual. So what happens if we have -3x is greater than 3? Okay. So again, the reason why these are called a one-step equation, because all we had to do was one step to get our variable by itself. We had to add 17. Boom, that was one step. We had to subtract 3. Boom, that was one step. Now, if I take a look, anytime I have a number and a variable right next to each other, and it's not being separated by a plus or a minus sign, this is multiplication. So the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by not this 3, but by this -3. Okay? The reason why I'm using this -3 because I want to get x by itself. So -3 divided by -3, that will give me a +1. But I don't need the 1 because I still have the x to bring down. Now, 3 divided by -3, this side gives me a -1. But this is that little twist that I was saying earlier. Anytime I multiply or divide by a negative number, not the result, but the act of multiplication or division by a negative number, so we're talking about this slot right here, I always have to change the direction of my inequality sign. The reason why, because of that negation, I have to change it so I can make sure I get a true statement. So instead of greater than, now it's less than. And it only happens when you are actually multiplying or dividing by a negative number. Not because your result is negative, because the act of multiplying or dividing. Okay? All right. So, if I draw, number line, again, don't have to get too crazy with it. I'm looking at the number that we got as a result. I usually put that smack in the middle, so that's a -1. It's a less than symbol, so it doesn't have a line underneath, so that means we're not including that -1. But we're looking at numbers that are less than -1. So less than, that means I'm going to the left. So all the numbers to the left, all the way to -infinity, will make this into a true statement. Okay, let's take a look to see where everyone is, how everyone's doing. Okay. Oh, I've been talking for a minute. It's like I'm seeing everybody on here. Okay, let me scroll all the way to the beginning. Okay, hey Danny, how are you? Okay, came at the right time. All right, Shamika, how can I use this in my day-to-day life? We'll get to you later. And you keep asking the same question because every time you come in here, you say the same stuff. Find something new to talk about. All right. Princess, welcome back. Okay, I remember addressing Big L. Hey, Reed, how are you? It's been a minute. Okay, remember what Chris saying. Okay, we got our hi. We got a few follows. Thank you. Okay, teach Algebra 2. I can tutor Algebra 2. Okay, so we got that. Divide, currently teaching this to your seniors. Awesome, Mr. Cooper. Okay, one-step inequalities. Yes, Jay Smith, got you. Need you in my life. I'm here. Is this 5th grade math belt? Not really. Okay, it's coming back to me. Bruh. All right. Hey. Is this Janice? Oh, okay. I was like, who's Tyrone? Okay, there you go. Do I tutor Calc 2? I do not. Advanced Algebra 2, husband's phone, okay. 8th grade, 9th grade 1. I could solve it, but I can't graph it. Okay. Let's see, Tyrone do. Okay. Let me do that. Okay. Keep the mind fresh. Not a problem. Good. Do algebra or different math. Yep, I do algebra, college algebra. Little trig, geometry, pre-calculus, everything for GED, ASVAB, Praxis, ACCUPLACER, and for the entry exam for the nursing, that algebra, I got you. Okay, basic statistics, yes, I got you. All right, so let's take a look at this one. All right, so we have negative 9x is greater than or equal to negative 90. Okay, so we got that. Okay, negative 9x is greater than or equal to negative 90. Okay. Oh, okay, so you want the interval notations? Okay. So, if anything, let me take that off here for just a moment. So, if we're looking at interval notation, when you have less than or greater than, you're always going to have parentheses. Okay, let me zoom in here for a sec. Okay, when you have less than or greater than, it's always parentheses. When you have less than or equal to, or even greater than or equal to, it's always brackets. So what you know to use for an open circle, you will use for parentheses. Whatever you would use for a dot, I don't know why we call it a closed dot, because it's a dot, we would use brackets. So the brackets, thinking of a cage, right? Maybe even a dog kennel, that might be a better example. So you're keeping the dog in the kennel. Yeah, it can move around a little bit, maybe stand up, turn around just enough to flop back down, but they're still in that kennel. Okay, so that's what equal to is. You're including everything in, and you're including the endpoints. Whereas the parentheses, there's a little expansion, there's stretch. Okay, it's almost like my pants after Thanksgiving. You always want to wear the super stretchy pants because you're gonna eat, right? So you want to give it a little expansion. So this is why anytime that you have infinity, regardless if it's positive infinity or even negative infinity, they always get parentheses. Okay, the infinities don't have what's called a bound. So this is unbounded, whereas the equal to's, the brackets, it's bounded. Okay. Try going live this way today. Good to see you. Oh, good to see you too. Nice. All right. Hey, Jason. We're seeing everybody here. All right. So if I may go back, especially for those that likes the intervals. If I'm looking at, say, this first one, A is greater than 1. If I were to write this in interval notation, remember when I shade, it went all the way up to positive infinity. Now, when you put it in interval notation, you always start with the lowest number. Well, our lowest number is 1. So we have our 1, and it goes all the way to positive infinity. Now, your infinities always get a parenthesis. But since this is an open circle, hence, because it's just greater than, this is also going to be a parenthesis. Okay. Hey. Okay, no problem. All right. So if I did our previous, the next one after that, we had x is less than or equal to negative 12. All right. So when we go to interval notation, we have to start with our lowest number. Our lowest number in this case is negative infinity. Okay, that's the lowest that we can go. because negative 12 is bigger than negative infinity, okay? So that means we're going to start with negative infinity, and we're going up to negative 12. The infinity always has a parenthesis, okay? Remember, Thanksgiving, stretchy pants, okay? There's no boundary. So even though you were just like, I can't eat anymore, you will still find room for pie. Everyone still has room for pie. You know, you might have to move around a little bit, but you always come back to that dessert table, right? Now, but here at the negative 12, since it is a dot, that means that's bounded. That's enclosed. So you put a bracket. All right. Let me take a look. Wow. Oh, thank you. Let's take a look. Because I feel like there's some stuff going on while I'm sitting here explaining. Okay. All right, so we're lost. We're going to get you up to speed. We'll get you up to speed in a second. You can't graph it. Okay, so we're doing all that. Explaining about the brackets, okay. Big Al, I'm going to get you up there. We're going to be there. Okay, Brenda's saying that. Velvet, I love math. Okay, I'm good. Can you explain about the difference with the brackets? Okay. Besides, this class of school of what use of this? It's just my husband's phone. Got you. Keep mine fresh. Yes. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Inequalities, work on them this week. Love your teaching. Thank you. Do you just do algebra on that? I think I remember that. Need to call time room. That's fine. Answer 6. Answer's always 6. Can you explain about the brackets? Can you do multi-step? In a moment. So tonight I'm just doing 1 step and 2 steps. Alright, so that's why it can be both sometimes. Yes. So it could be either or it could be both. Oh yay, you passed your GED. I'm sorry. I'm just catching up on the stuff. I'm trying to get all the yes. Good job. Congratulations. So happy. Thank you, Micah, for that. Good, Princess. Okay. I finally get it after watching for 2 minutes. Freak out. All right. I need some tutoring. Hey, if you need tutoring, trust me. Just go ahead and message me. But be serious. I don't want anybody playing around. Not like, oh, I just wanted to talk to you. And we can always talk. But, hey, figure it out, people. Okay? Need to pass my math K through 6 test. Okay. Do you do geometry? Yes, I do. Through tutoring. Yes. Thanks, Big Al, for doing that. Good. We went over this today. Awesome. Because I have Algebra 2 test tomorrow. Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right. So I think I got this. Is this piecewise? No. This is inequalities. Inequalities with a little twist of the interval notation. Which, if you had in my handy-dandy notebook, somewhere around here, you got this little reminder right here with the interval notation. So it just kind of gives you that whole breakdown. So if we look at the inequality notation, we have it if it's just less than, if you graph it, it's an open circle. If it's less than or equal to, it's a dot. And then we can work on those intervals. We're going to be doing that possibly Saturday. And then your interval notations, if it's open circle, it's parenthesis. The infinities are always a parenthesis. Okay, if it's a closed, it's going to be a bracket. Okay, all right. So, if I may, let me go back to this one, and I'll go from beginning to end. So we have negative 9x is greater than or equal to negative 90. So we want to get x by itself. In between the 9 and the x, there isn't a plus or a minus. So that means that this is multiplication. So the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're dividing both sides by this -9. So we can get x by itself. So -9 divided by -9 will give me 1, but we have an x, so this is really like 1x. -90 divided by -9. Negative divided by negative is a positive, and 90 divided by 9, that is 10. Now, since we divided by a negative number right here, that means we have to flip that inequality sign. So instead of it being greater than or equal to, it's now going to be less than or equal to. Yes. Okay. I know, today I was late. I had a student. Okay. All right. So anytime you divide or multiply by a negative number, you have to change the direction of the inequality sign so you can get a true statement. So now, if I want to graph it, I'm going to have my little number line. I can put my answer that I got, which is a 10. And since there is a line underneath, that means I am drawing a dot. So now I have to ask myself, x is less than or equal to 10. So that means I'm dealing with the numbers that are lower and including 10. Okay, when it has a line underneath it, you're also including 10. So this is going all the way to -infinity. So if I want to put it in interval notation, I always start with the lowest number. In this case, my lowest number is -infinity. So I'm going to have -infinity. And like I said, the infinity symbols always get a parenthesis. My highest number in this case is going to be 10. It only goes up to and including 10. So that's why this is a bracket, because it's including 10. Okay, awesome. Yes, Rich, you always have to flip it. Okay, anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to change the direction of the sign. Okay, all right, good. All right. Yep, so make sure that infinity is negative, Marina. Make sure it's -infinity to 10. Okay, only inequalities. Yes, only inequalities. Because you don't have to flip around the equal sign. You don't have to do that. Text me back when I can. Yeah, today was too crazy. And I'm still not done. I have a student at 11 o'clock tonight. Okay, well, look, you remembered it, so it shouldn't be spiking up. Now, it should spike when you can't remember it, but because you can remember it, it shouldn't spike up. All right, let's do a couple more. Let's try this one. And then after this one, if we can get a Mad Tapper one, that will be Amazeballs. Okay. So n over 3 is greater than 3. Yeah, never done. Hopping off. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. You move numbers and variables to the left side of the equal sign. You use the reciprocal. If you are dividing, you can use the reciprocal. So are all open circles open? So are all open circles open? Yes. So it'll be a parenthesis. I think that's what you're asking. Okay. Both sides by 3. Okay, are we solving for n? Yes, we are. All right, so since it is a fraction meaning division, so the inverse of division is multiplication. And we always want to multiply both sides by whatever your denominator is. So in this case, my denominator is 3. Because what happens is I really have 3 divided by 3. That will give me a 1. But I don't need the 1 because I still have the n. So that's 1n. Then 3 times 3, that will give me 9. And since we multiplied by a positive number, my inequality sign does not change. So we still keep it as greater than 9. Okay? It only changes when you multiply or divide by a negative number, which that did not happen here. So if I have my number line, I'm going to stick my 9 right here. Now, will it be open or closed? Good night. Will it be open or closed? Okay, we got open. Hi, Kaya. Good. Good. My pink heart, yes. Marvelly saying open. Yes, Reed saying open. Good. Jumpin' Jan saying open. Okay, good. Open. You found the little open thing. Okay, Princess is saying open. Good. Because since it does not have a line underneath it, it's going to be open. But now its n is greater than 9. Am I going to shade the right or am I going to shade the left? You could use R for the right, L for the left. Which way am I going to shade? Okay, Marvelli saying right, Princess right, Juan right, Deja right, Kia right. Is that Angel or Angelo? It's saying angled. It's saying right, heart right, good. Juan right, good, excellent. So everything to the right all the way to positive infinity. Now, if I want to do this in interval notation, I have to start with the lowest number. What's lowest, 9 or infinity? What's the lowest number, 9 or positive infinity? Okay, we got our 9s, 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 and 9s. Good. So, for the 9, is it a bracket or a parenthesis? Excellent. Nice. Oh, Lizzie's back. Good. Parenthesis. Excellent, guys. You guys are really getting this, okay? So that means we're going all the way to positive infinity. And infinities, no matter if it's positive or negative, will always get a parenthesis. Okay? Make sense? Okay. How are we feeling? All right, Reed with yes. Marvella, yes. Okay. Thanks for the shares and the likes. I appreciate that. Lost a little bit, but how are you feeling? So, question real life. When you use this, I'm not answering that one tonight. I only have so much time. Okay. Just joined in. What are we learning now? Inequalities. All right. So, let's take a little look before I go into 2 steps. Let's do one more, and then we're going to go into 2 steps. So let's try this one. All right, so we have our b minus 7 is less than negative 12. Here you go. So b minus 7 is less than negative 12. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got John Arbuckle saying B is less than negative 5. Do we agree? Do you do graphs or no? What are these things called? They're graphs. Okay. So since it's only one variable, you just need a number line. Okay, when we get into two variables, that's when you're going to need the coordinate plane. This is frying my brain. I wish I can help you. Sorry. Agreed. Awesome. Because what we did was we add 7 on both sides. So negative 7 plus 7 will cancel out. Then we have our B. Now, since we added, we do not change the direction of the inequality sign. Although we have a negative 12 plus 7, but that's combining. That's not multiplying or dividing. Okay? So we do not change our inequality symbol. If I were to make my graph, we're here at negative 5. So open or closed, left or right. What do we got? Open or closed, left or right. If you want to say O for open, C for close, L for left, and R for right, you can do that. Okay, so we got our open. Someone's got our positive infinity. You might want to check that. Who was that? Okay, Juan, you might want to check that. Okay, look at your inequality. So we're saying open circle and left. We're saying closed right. We're saying open. We're saying open left, open left, open left. Okay, all the way to negative infinity. Thank you. We got our left. We got Livy with the left. Prince is saying open. Marvelli is saying open left. There you go, Juan. There you go. All right, so since there's no line underneath our inequality, it's going to be an open circle. Okay, now B is less than negative 5. So if it's less than, that means we're shading to the left all the way to negative infinity. So if we were to do the interval notation, we start with the lowest number, which is negative infinity, up to negative 5. Okay. But you're here? Okay, getting back from school? Okay. Yes, there you go. And all of them are going to be parentheses. Good job, guys. Very nice. Very nicely done. All right. So those are your one-step equations. The only ones that you really have to pay attention to really is when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, because that's when you are switching your inequality symbols. Okay? All right, so let's see if we can do a mad tap to like 20. That'll be awesome. And then we'll get started with our two-step. Okay, so mad tap. There's 175 people in here. We can definitely get to 20 real quick. Yeah, I'm not doing the screenshots. If anything, if you want to, all of my replays are here on my YT. Give me some time to upload it. And all of my replays from February 2nd is there. So then, if anything, just do these 5 things and everything will be all hunky-dory. Okay? Okay, we're almost done. Because I have roughly like 26 minutes before I shut the live off. Yep. Combination of both. You got a fan and also police activity. Everyone's preparing for the troops to come to Baltimore. Supposedly he already signed the executive order. So yeah, it's going to be fun around here in a few minutes. Okay. Yeah. All right. So here we go. So we have 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. So, even if we had an equal sign, okay? I'm just going to get started because I don't want to lose time. Even though we don't have an equal sign, we still treat this almost like that inequality was an equal sign. Our goal is to get the x by itself. So now we have 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. So we want to isolate our variable. And this is the one thing I notice a lot of people generally do. They're like, oh, okay, well then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. No, okay? We're going to leave that 5x right where it is. So what needs to go is this plus 2. So the inverse of a positive 2 is minus 2. So positive 2, negative 2, that cancels out. So now that 5x that we have, that can come down. And we just subtract the 2. So my inequality sign is still the same. And now 17 minus 2, that gives us our 15. So now we want to get x by itself. Okay, so this is a reminder of the one-step equations. So we need to divide both sides by 5. So 5 divided by 5, that will give us our x. And since we divide it by a positive 5, the inequality sign remains the same. And then 15 divided by 5, that gives us 3. So our inequality that we're dealing with is x is less than or equal to 3. So if I were to graph this, here's my 3. So open, close, left or right. What do we got? So you're saying close to the left, close left, good, closed right, okay, closed, okay, thanks for the follow, we got the right, okay, closed left, Duffy, thank you, Marvelly, closed left, Jumpy Jan, closed left, we got left, Jordan Square, like closed left, okay, closed right, closed left with B flower. Okay, Melvin saying close left. All right, close left with princess. Okay, Deja, close left, because it's less than. Aaron saying close left. Okay, you're still saying close right. You go to the direction of the arrow pointing. Okay, close left. Okay, and it's left, Sharky. All right, so if we take a look, since we have that equal to symbol, that means it's going to be a close, a nice little dot. Now, x is less than, so we're dealing with numbers that are lower than 3, all the way to negative infinity. Okay, so if I were to define this as an interval notation, remember you always start with the lowest number, which is negative infinity. Stops at the highest number, which is 3. Infinity signs always get parentheses. And the 3, since it's a dot, it's including the 3. So that's why it's a bracket. Okay. Arrow goes towards the left. Yep. There you go. Pulls. Good. All right. Excellent. Okay, so all we're doing is adding that extra piece for us to do the two-step equations. Okay, all we need is that extra piece. So let's do one more or a couple more. I love how you guys are helping each other out. Thank you. Love the positivity. All right, let's try this one. So we have negative 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 5. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. So we have negative 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 5. So again, I used to have a little piece of paper. What did I do with it? Okay, let's slide it over. Okay, so this negative 2x, that's not moving. That is staying right where it is. But what needs to move is our minus 3. So we have to do the inverse, the opposite of minus, which is plus. So we are adding 3 to both sides of our inequality. So negative 3 plus 3 cancels out to give me 0. We don't have to put the 0 because we don't need it as a placeholder. Because remember, we still have that negative 2x left on that side. So we're going to bring down our negative 2x. Okay. We added 3 on both sides, so that means that inequality stays exactly the same direction. But then we have negative 5 plus 3. That gives me a negative 2. Okay. So now we want to get x by itself. So we need to get rid of our negative 2. And the way we're going to do it, we're going to divide. So negative 2 divided by negative 2, they cancel out to give me 1. But I don't need the 1 because it's assumed with the x. Negative 2 divided by negative 2, that gives me a positive 1. Okay. All right. So this is why we have our less than or equal to, but we divided by a negative. Okay, anytime we divide by a negative, that inequality sign is going to flip. So it is greater than or equal to a positive 1. Okay. Hey, Demand, how are you? Okay, good. Yes, thanks, Janice. Appreciate it. Good. Now, don't forget, I know it's probably kind of hard to do an equal to, but we got that. I'm alive. Hey, I see it. I see it. All right, so if we were to graph it, small little graph, don't have to get too crazy. You got our 1. Now, since it is equal to, that means it's going to be a dot. And x is greater than or equal to 1. So if it's greater than, that means I'm going all the way up to positive infinity. Okay, I'm going all the way up to positive infinity. So this case, my lowest number is going to be the 1. And my highest number is going to be positive infinity. So since it is a dot, we're including the 1. So it's going to be a bracket. And infinity always gets a parenthesis, no matter if it's positive or negative. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, let me... Let's step it up just a little bit more. If you have questions, please put it inside the chat. I'll greatly appreciate that. Yep, this is a safe space to ask your questions. I am not, just for tonight, I just need a break from like, when are we going to use this in real life? It's just an exhausting question. It really is. And I feel like just saying, I feel like really saying, go to my Y2 channel and just watch all the videos because I explain it, I feel like almost every single solitary night. Okay, so my Y2, go ahead and type in a search for ACG. Okay, and it'll take you right to it. And then again, you can see all of my videos from the beginning to the end. Oh, let's say, and make this a -4. Okay, yeah, it's everywhere. Okay, so don't freak out. Do not freak out. I know, every time we see fractions, like a numerator and denominator, we all freak out. So we're not. So remember, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take care of this denominator. So when you see a fraction, the inverse of division is multiplication. And you always want to multiply whatever your denominator is on both sides. The reason why, it's easier to simplify. Okay? Probably. Okay? So, then we want to cancel out -3 and -3. So what we have left is our n minus 6. And then we have -4 times -3. That will give me a 12. What's happening? Okay, what's happening? What happens next? Michael's saying flip. Deja saying flip. Reed saying flip. Yes. Okay. You don't have to flip. But you do. You multiplied by a negative number on both sides. Remember, anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, your inequality is going to change direction. So this is actually going to be less than or equal to. Okay. Got you. Yep. Anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, they change directions. So now we can finish it out. Try to get n by itself. That means we have to add 6 on both sides. So negative 6 plus 6, they will cancel out, leaving me with n is less than or equal to 18. About the flipping? Sure, Hannah. So anytime you multiply, or even when you, over here, divide by a negative number, your inequality has to change direction. So here it was less than, now it's greater than. Over here, it started out greater than, now it's less than, okay? Because anytime, right here. Because anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to change the direction of the inequality sign. Okay? So, looking at the number line, we have our 18. Open, closed, or left and right? What do we got? Good, Kaya. Good. Okay. Closed and to the left. Open to the left. Closed to the left. Closed to the left. Okay. Closed to the left. Hannah, closed to the left. Okay, Melvin, close to the left. Okay, Reed, close to the left. There we go. So we have a dot. And then we're shading to the left. So we're saying all those points that are less than or equal to 18 will make it into a true statement. Now, if I do interval notation, that means I'm taking my smallest number, which is negative infinity, and the highest number in this case is 18. Infinity symbols always get parentheses, and 18, since it's closed, or since it's a dot, it's going to be a bounded situation. Because my 18. Okay. Yep. So negative infinity, comma 18. So it's closed. There you go. So the line underneath always means equal. It's getting hot. Cut the AC on. Yep. All right. Okay, let's do one more. One more. Okay. You guys are doing awesome. I'm so proud of you. You guys are getting it. So if we have x fifths plus 7 equals 11. I'm going to say less than or equal to 11. All right. So do this problem yourself. Okay. Do not not put your answers down until I tell you to. Okay? So go ahead and work it out. But don't put, you can type it, but don't hit send. Okay? Type it, but don't hit send. This is Algebra 1. Okay, ready? This is algebra? Yes. All right, put your answers in. Put your answers in. What we got? And don't just give me numbers. Make sure, because we're doing inequalities. We're not doing solving the equation. It's an inequality. Okay, that's all right. Keep going. Okay, so we got x is greater than 30. We got x is less than or equal to 20 with Michael. Kind of saying negative infinity to 20 included. Okay. Kaon, okay, double check your work. Even though you're writing it in 5 times. It's been wrong for all 5 times. Make sure you double check your work, okay? All right. Melvin, double check your work. Jumping Jan is saying x is less than or equal to 20. X is less than or equal to 20 with Christian. Thank you. Saf is saying x is less than or equal to 48. Double check your work, Saf. Seabass is saying x is less than 20. There's something missing, which I think is kind of hard. There you go. Okay. So less than or equal to 20. E, yes. Like even, Irvin. Good. All right. So first thing we had to do, we had to subtract 7 on both sides. Positive 7 and negative 7 cancel each other out. Then we had x over 5 is less than or equal to our 4. So now we want to get rid of this fraction. So we want to multiply by whatever the denominator is. In this case, it was 5, a positive 5. So 5 divided by 5 gives me 1x, or just x. And since I multiply both sides by a positive 5, my inequality sign does not change. Okay, does not change at all. So if I go to graph it, starting here at 20, okay, since it is equal to, it's going to be a dot. It's going to be closed. And since it's x is less than, so that means I'm dealing with everything less than all the way to negative infinity. Okay, all the way to negative infinity. If I were to do it as a interval notation, always start with the lowest number, which is going to be negative infinity. And infinity symbols, regardless if it's positive or negative, always get a parenthesis. My highest number is 20. And since it is a dot, it's closed. That means it's going to be a bracket. The reason why the signs didn't change because we didn't multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, you see it? Okay, good. Just forgot the negative. Yep. Yep, and you really cannot forget the negatives. All right. Okay. I think you guys did awesome. All right, so keep in mind, regardless if it's a one-step or a two-step inequalities, when you're adding and subtracting, you're not doing anything different with the inequality sign. It's only when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number. It doesn't matter when it happens. It can happen in the first step. It can happen in the third step. It can happen in the fifth step. But no matter when it happens, anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to change the direction of the inequality sign. And then we learned a little bit with the interval notation, okay? So infinity always gets parentheses. And if it's just less than or greater than, let me switch over to this. Okay, if it's just less than or greater than, it's always parentheses. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's always a bracket. Okay. Yep, when you divide or multiply by a negative number. All right. So what we're probably going to do tomorrow is I'll be here at 7 p.m. tomorrow. I might be on a little earlier because I don't have any clients. But if anything, I might just do like maybe a PSAT thing like during the day and then do the solving multi-step inequalities tomorrow night. So for those that won't be missing out on anything, please do again one day. Okay. And then plus, do not forget that every time you get stuck, you also got your videos. You also got your replays. You can watch them anytime you want. Fast forward, freeze frame. Okay? Do all those things. Now, if anything, if you need some tutoring, I think some people did mention it. I'm dead serious. I'm only going to work with people who are serious about tutoring. Like you want to make a change and you need the assistance. If you're going to be tipsy and topsy about it, like kind of like, are you on the fence? Are you off the fence? Don't bother. Don't contact me. There's so many other people you can probably contact. Okay. Then on top of it, I have some courses. So if you really want to get with your GED and you want to build up your foundational skills, you can sign up for my course. So if anything, you just go here, okay, which is my boom. And then you can sign up for the course. If you're questioning which course you should take, you can just go ahead and message me. If you hit that Service Plus button at the bottom of your screen, you can send me an email and just tell me what exactly you're trying to pursue. So don't just say hi because I'm going to delete it. Okay, there's too many spammers that I got going on over here. All right, so I also have a sale on my books. So if you actually like my notebooks that I have designed here, okay, this has like all my little notes that I usually do for my lives. Okay, I designed this. So I have a section for formulas. Like, okay, we have some formulas. I have a section for your steps, a section for you to fill in all of the basic things on both sides. Dot on one side, general grid on the other side. But besides the 100 pages of these that we have, you also have resource pages. If you're not strong with your multiplication, we have this factors chart to help you with when you're doing factoring, when you're trying to break down radicals. Also have some other references like your squares and your cubes. Then also we made mention of like order of operations, properties of exponents, linear and quadratic. We made reference to our inequalities. That looks familiar. And our interval notation. Oh, that looks familiar. Then as well as your rules of integers. If it's adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, what are those rules that we generally keep forgetting? We have fraction operations. We have decimal operations. Also, the place value is there as well. We have distance and speed, measures essential tendency, also arithmetic and geometric sequence, also system of equations, system of inequalities, graphing inequalities, Pythagorean theorem, trig, and then also your conversion chart. Now, this book is for my pre-algebra, algebra 1, and I am currently having a sale. Make sure you go here. Okay, the big A does not have the sale. Only the sale happens here. And all of my books are right now costing $10.29. Okay, that is a huge cut. So get your books. I also have a book for Algebra 2 and pre-calculus because the resources are different. Okay, I wanted to do one that made it a little more different. As well as if you're a lefty, I also have left-handed books for you guys. Okay, so this one is the Algebra 1 pre-algebra book. The same references everything, but it's just designed for my lovely left-handed people. Okay, so you have something to help you guys out. All right, so tomorrow I will be here at 7 p.m., but I think I might pop on sometime during the day because I don't have any clients. But I definitely will be here at 7 p.m. Okay? All right. All right. No worries. Okay, so I have to get going. I know it was a short one, but if you guys ever want to support me, I know I'm trying to turn off the GIF thing because the TikTok GIF stuff, yeah, it's too crazy. So if you ever want to support me, you can definitely, if you can't afford even $1 for a Cash App, I will take personally a Google review. Because if I can get a Google review, I can get more clientele just based off of your Googles. The more activity I have in that Google review, the more people that usually come in, okay, to ask about my tutoring. So these, if you ever want to help, if you feel that I really helped you and, you know, like, hey, I really want to give back to Audrey, that will be the best way that you can do for me. All right? Okay. Awesome, Jordan. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow. If you have anything, oh, hey, Robert. I will not be as spastic as I was today, but we're definitely going to be working on multi-steps with the inequalities, and I'll actually put the interval notation with it, just like how we did today, and then we'll take it from there. All right, everyone, have an amazing night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.